On the Track is a web TV show about cryptozoology, natural history, green issues and whatever else the team feel like making up as they go along. Enjoy!
Go. Rossiter, what you been doing with them kids down at the outreach centre of late?
Oh, well, Barry, we had a grand old time 'cause we had a day out at the zoo.
A day out at the zoo? And what were you doing with the kids at the zoo?
Oh, I have been encouraging them to try French kissing crocodiles and encouraging them to try and bomb grizzly bears.
Really, the selflessness and community spirit of that young unknown primate never ceases to amaze me. Well done to everybody involved.
I really like the old credits.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 o'clock. It's Saturday afternoon. My name's John Downs and I'm the director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology, and welcome to another episode of On the Track, something which I put out once and a half a week. There's a full version every Saturday and a sort of truncated one on the Wednesday, and I think it's rather good, and each week a few more people are watching it, so I think it's doing rather well and I'm very pleased with the way it's going. This week I've got all sorts of interesting things to talk about, but first of all I had a letter recently, or rather an email, from a guide whose name I recognise, but I've never had any real dealings with him, although I know he's been kind enough to buy some of our books. A guy from Australia. Now, Australia is, as any fool know, the sort of wonderland for cryptozoologists and fortean zoologists, because the biology in Australia is so much different to anywhere else in the world. And Australia is where the CFZ totem animal, as we sometimes refer to it, the Thylacine, the Tasmanian wolf, where that may still, and many people believe, including quite important scientists, believe that it was still alive until very recently, if it hasn't continued to the present day. It's where the Tasmanian wolf comes from. Australia is a wonderful place, and there's all sorts of fascinating creatures that inhabit the sort of half-life between reality and myth, the place where an awful lot of cryptozoological creatures lurk. My correspondent was a chap called Max, who works for the New South Wales Parks Department with the fairly unpleasant job of trying to eradicate feral creatures which are buggering up the ecosystem within the national parks. Now, before we go any further, the images I'm just about to show you, they don't upset me and they shouldn't upset you, but if you don't want to see skins of a feral domestic dog, you'd better look away for a while. He wrote, "Dear Mr. Downs, please find enclosed some photos of a couple of feral dogs that we shot here in Australia. They were officially shot in the Snowy Mountains National Park in the south of New South Wales, National Parks and Wildlife NWPS Eradication of Feral Animal Programme. They are both mounted on full-size internal doors, so you can judge the size of these animals. These two were heavily striped, with one golden, the other more grey, but both heavily brindled. The bigger one was female and full of pups, 10 in all, and all were humanely euthanized. We regularly shoot introduced species as a contract for NPWS and sometimes keep the skins. I thought you may be interested in these for their similarity in size and shape, except for the tail, the Thylacine, that were on mainland Australia, but sometimes sightings are still made on the mainland too. Love the work of your organisation. Respectfully yours, Max in Australia. Now, I'm not going to identify him as far as his surname is concerned for one very important reason. I know as a truism that all the people who watch this show regularly are damn nice people and damn sensible people, and they're people who don't jump to stupid conclusions or get hysterical. But sadly, the internet is full of people who get ridiculously hysterical over things like the necessary culls of feral cats and dogs. And I am sure that if I identified Max any further, he would have gangs of people stalking him around the internet and claiming that he is a puppy killer or something of the sort. This is just nonsense. Human beings introduced a lot of invasive species to Australia and New Zealand, and they have created havoc within the ecosystems in these two wonderfully isolated territories. It is our duty to try to restore these territories back to what they were like before human beings came and screwed it all up. So sadly that does mean that cats, dogs, wild boar and all sorts of other creatures have to be eradicated before they destroy what's left of this wonderful ecosystem. But Max makes a very good point. As I've always said about British big cats, I'm not saying that there aren't any. I know there are some. I've seen them on at least 2 occasions. But I believe that the vast majority of sightings are nothing of the sort. For example, there is a piece of woodland just down the road from us where over the years there have been a whole string of big cat sightings, or big cat reports I should say. We set up trail cameras and left them there over one entire winter, and we got pictures of all sorts of animals using this trackway. We got pictures of an otter, of badgers, of foxes, of red deer, of roe deer, of a large pheasant, of what looked at first like a penguin, but it was actually a lesser spotted woodpecker, and a fat woman having a pea. All of these things were picked up by automatic cameras. But did we have any cats? No, we had no cats whatsoever. And I am pretty sure that on misty early mornings when people are driving to work, or misty evenings when they're driving back from work, they see something scampering across the road in front of them, and it's a roe deer or it's a fox, and they automatically think big cat, because we have been completely ingrained socially and psychologically with images of big cats, and they've been used in advertising, they've been used in police reports, and there's at least one serial killer was called the Black Panther. A political movement in America were called the Black Panthers. There have been there's the movies about a superhero called the Black Panther, and Lynx has been used to sell aftershave. Puma has been used to sell running shoes, and the list is endless. So I'm not going to carry on repeating them. But we have been conditioned. If we see something we don't know what it is running across the road in front of us and it's about the right size and dark, it's a mystery cat. Well, it ain't. And I think the same thing happens in Australia. And once again, I'm not saying that the thylacine does not exist. In fact, all the evidence goes to suggest that it certainly does exist still in Tasmania and quite possibly in parts of New Guinea and the Australian mainland. But I think that it's quite likely that people who are driving, doing something else that's not animal watching, driving from point A to point B, and they see one of these stripy dogs crossing the road in front of them, they immediately think, aha, it's thylacine. And I think this is probably a very important part of the main body of thylacine reports which come in to thylacine researchers like CFZ Australia. I filmed that yesterday on Sunday. It's now Monday afternoon and I am continuing. And a few things have come to mind before we exit this segment. Firstly, I forgot when I was giving my list of Black Panther identities in the modern world, I forgot the White Panthers, who were a short-lived political group, the English branch of which was run by my old mate, the late Mick Farron, God bless him. So Mick, if there is an afterlife and you are listening to me, forgive me that I forgot to mention you when I should have done just now. And the other thing is, I'm sure there are people who are going to be watching this who are going to say, John Downes does not believe in anything. John Downes is a skeptic. John Downes is trying to destroy cryptozoology by not believing in things. I think the thing that is going to destroy cryptozoology, if we don't put our foot down and we let it destroy cryptozoology, is not me not believing in things, it's people believing in too much. Because an awful lot of what is in modern day cryptozoology is complete bollocks, and it should really be consigned to the dustbin of history. There are, I am certain, many unknown, large and largish animals awaiting discovery or rediscovery around the world. But to believe every report that comes in at face value and to extrapolate ludicrous explanations for those reports which don't quite fit the mould of whatever paradigm it is that you want to follow at any one time is really, really a negative, self-destructive and stupid thing to do. There, I've had my say on things about negativity. Uncle John is now moving on to the next segment. Enjoy. At the end of May, Geordie and Carl went to the British Tarantula Society Open Show in Warwickshire. I used to go to them 20 odd years ago and always enjoyed them very much indeed. But from what can be seen in these videos, it seems that after 2 years of being locked up and not being able to go anywhere because of COVID-19, the British tarantula community at least have come back in fine fettle and have made this probably the most impressive event that they have done for quite a long time. I apologise for the quality of the sound, but as you will hear, there were an awful lot of people there causing an awful lot of hubbub. And I think that it shows how successful and how busy the show was. So, apologies. This is one of the scolopendra species of centipede, and I recognise them because there was at least one species of scolopendra on the hillsides in Hong Kong when I was a boy, and I was always forbidden to go near them or touch them by my mother and by my baby Alma. Of course, I actually paid no attention. And over the years I kept several scolopendra as pets.
At last I have found something I want. We have here...
So these are the like a 50 for your size.
Fantastic. Area, it's changed its name now to Caribbean Versicolor.
Yeah.
And are these particular ones from Costa Rica or Central America?
They're from the Caribbean islands.
Oh, the Caribbean Islands. Oh, right, so not Costa Rica or Central America as such. Very attractive, and we'll see. I might be buying them, and we'll show a video of their growth rate and how they get on in my homemade tank I've made. Thanks a lot. Here it is! My old friend in the butterfly farm days, and what he's got here is a fantastic sticking set. Can you tell us about this, sir?
Yeah, this is Thylacine ponderosa from Malaysia, and it's also not just a stick insect but a snake lizard. You see, its tail looks like the head of a snake, and if you touch it, it strikes like a snake. The predator will think it's a snake and leave it alone, where it's a harmless stick insect. So, really cool creature.
Absolutely fantastic.
We've also got some Atlas moths, largest moth in the world. Again, a snake mimic.
Yeah.
You look at the tip of the wing, head of a snake, eye of a snake, mouth of a snake.
Isn't that area to do with the dimorphic nature of their sexual dimorphism, basically? It's that area of the wing, isn't it?
On the Atlas moths, it's the antenna.
Oh, okay.
Males have got large antenna, females are small. Males can detect a female from 3 miles away downwind with those antenna, which they use to pick up pheromones produced by the female.
Beautiful.
Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for that interview.
Don't touch, this will fly, don't touch. Don't touch, this will fly.
This one looks like it's emerged quite recently.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, you can see with the dark skin, they do fade, and obviously when they bang into each other and other items, they would wear their wings out.
And there's the cocoon.
What sort of life cycle of the live moth is there?
The actual caterpillar feeds on privet, and then they make the silk cocoon. Remember, next time you go and buy a silk blouse, it's made out of caterpillar spit. And then the adult moths hatch out, no mouth parts. Silk moths have no mouth parts. They do all their feeding as caterpillars, and then after about 7 to 10 days they'll die. So a short lifespan for the adult. All they do is mate and lay eggs.
Like most cocoons.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Brilliant. That was a fantastic interview with my good old friend from the butterfly days. Signing off. Here I have my purchase today, which I'll be taking home very soon. Let's see the company as well. Just go online here. We'll advertise.
Giant bronze for free.
Right, here we have a free spider with this lovely gentleman here. Look at this lovely, fantastic spider. Hope you can see it in there. It's a bit reflective. And what is your company and where we come from, sir?
And I've just started keeping and breeding.
Oh, you're self-bred. Whereabouts is that? Liverpool?
Yeah, in Liverpool.
In Liverpool. Happy days. Well, thanks for that. That's a fantastic gesture from you. We'll have them, I think. Lovely. Handing the money over to this nice gentleman.
I want to spend this on some more new spiders now.
Oh, you know.
I spent 3 times what I've sold, or probably 4 times.
Happy days. I'm very happy with my purchase. Hi everyone again. Here we have Rob Byer, a fantastic breeder of mantids and many other things. Can you tell us a few things about the selection of insects you have here today, Rob?
Section of insects, do you say, sorry?
Just the information about these.
So, basically, female mantids are usually considerably larger than the males, because they need to lay eggs. The males don't need to, obviously. Males need to fly, so they're smaller. One example is, which species? These ones. Really good example.
Let's take a closer look at them.
Cledonoptera lestoni.
Absolutely beautiful.
The males are considerably smaller, about 1.25 inches long, really long wings, good flyers. These have been escaping all day. So
they are flower mantids?
Flower mantids, yeah.
Yeah. And of course the orchid mantid is another fantastic mantid. Do you have any of them?
Got loads of them over there on display.
Oh right, should we take a look over to the... Oh, there we go. Absolutely.
5 on there, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
Tricky ones, these ones, aren't they, to look after?
Once you've got it right, they're quite easy.
They need quite a bit of humidity.
Need flying prey, good ventilation.
Yeah.
You can manipulate their colour with flowers?
No. I've tried it, doesn't work.
I tried to and I had no luck.
You get the sub-adults are often pink. As soon as they turn adult, they go white and yellow. I mean, there's a fairly pink one here.
Oh, look at that colour variation in this.
That's about as pink as they get when they're adult.
How old are these mantids?
6 months or so. Thereabouts. They're all adults. That's another 6 months from adult. Thereabouts. So about 12 months.
But if they're mated, they live less.
No, it doesn't make a difference.
It does make a difference. No. Okay, that was one theory. After the mate.
Make a difference in males. Can't think of any species on Earth
I don't know, to be honest.
I think would affect males. It should make their life shorter.
It generally does.
I can't think of any species
well,
that doesn't.
Thanks for that, Rob.
Doesn't
Brilliant stuff. Oh yeah, here we have good old friend of mine from the Butterfly Farm days.
Yes.
Ray.
It's a Stoke John. Hi.
Can you tell us a bit about the show here?
It's the first one since COVID, since 2019.
Yeah.
And I was in a door, and I've never seen so many people come through that door. It's been mental, absolutely busy, and it just shows that everyone's stuck in the hobby and really excited. And even though we've got very few European traders, everyone's still coming in supporting the British hobby. It's
absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic show.
Yeah, unfortunately Graham's not here because I don't believe he doesn't do a lot of these shows now, he does TV more.
Yeah.
That's the only one downside.
Yeah.
I would like to have met him, but yeah, so it's great, it's fantastic here, and hopefully next year it'll even be more busy and more exhibits.
And the good thing is that during COVID, when lots of young people come up and start to learn stuff and start breeding things and see what they can do, and they're now coming here, and then they're doing their first shows, and we've had quite a few people come up and thank the British Trans Society Committee for the show. It's the first time they've ever been to one of these shows. You never know what they're missing.
And I've seen lots of kids here as well, so obviously encouraging kids to get into wildlife and protect the whole country, the ecosystems around the world, and it's a good education for them. So it's great to see lots of kids here.
Yeah. And talking about kids, one of the young kids over there who isn't a young kid anymore, came here when he started coming to the British National Show when he was 11. He's now got his own stall, he now does all his own breeding, got his own little business going.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Well, thanks for all your help then. Thanks for the interview.
See you again, mate.
And you, mate. You take care. Thanks a lot. See you. That was fantastic. Signing off from the BTS show in Warwick. CF on the track.
If you want to support us and help us make more content like these, please press like, subscribe, follow our Facebook page and check out our Patreon.
And as the ghost of Joe Strummer, who's an ever more regular visitor to my little studio, wants me to remind you, always press the notification bell. Otherwise you won't be told when there's a new show to watch. And that would be an awful pity, wouldn't it? And so, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the end of another show, and Dog wants to jump off of my lap because he likes to say goodbye to people as well. We're at the end of another show, and I really enjoyed this one. I'd like to say a big thank you to Max in Australia, to Geordie Jackson, to Carl Marshall, and to everybody else at the BTS show who kindly allowed us to interview them. I really enjoyed Carl and George's segment, and I hope that we have more reports from shows in the next months to come. because these are the sort of things I like it when we go out and about. But apart from them, I'd like to say a big thank you to Louis, my producer, and to Graham, who's been looking after me for years and who's been the Deputy Director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology for well over a quarter of a century. And we'll be back. We'll be back on Wednesday. And do I know what we're talking about on Wednesday? No, I don't think I do know what we're talking about on Wednesday. And I have certainly no idea what we're talking about next Saturday, but we'll be back Wednesday at 5 and Saturday at 3, because 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon is CFZ time. Dog, would you stop licking my shirt? You are a revolting creature. Anyway, I'm off, but I will be seeing you then, I hope. And if I'm seeing you, come on, McCrinnan. Are you listening? Are you waiting for it? If you guys are going to be watching me, I'll be seeing you.